More networking opportunities await women in the tech workforce here in Singapore and the United States. A recent partnership aims to help those in both countries build international contacts and expand their businesses abroad. A chair of the SG Women in Tech Initiative, Dr. Ong Chen Hui, joins us now live for more. Dr. Ong, tell us why this partnership that's focused on women was necessary.
Thanks for having me, Dawn. So last week, the Minister of Communications and Information, Mrs. Josephine Teo, was on a working trip to the US, and she announced that there will be a partnership between the US and Singapore Women in Tech initiatives. So this partnership is intended to provide learning opportunities for the women tech leaders of both countries. There will be networking opportunities as well as mentoring opportunities. And this is to help the women tech leaders navigate the business and cultural context of doing business in US, in Singapore, as well as in ASEAN.
You mentioned the networking opportunities that this will bring. Can you tell us something about what the value of that networking is going to represent?
Yeah, so I think the reality today is that unconscious bias is still very real, and that affects the kind of opportunities as well as the challenges that women face. So having some of these opportunities and mentoring opportunities allows a kind of safe space for women to openly discuss as well as to support each other. But there's also another aspect, which is that tech actually moves very fast. So typically, a lot of times, women does have to balance between their personal and professional lives. And some of them may have some concerns about re-entering the workforce, especially if they take a break due to personal commitments, right? So having that kind of networking opportunities and having that kind of support networks will allow women to exchange notes, open up doors, right? And create the kind of support networks that can be targeted for some of the challenges that women face over their careers.
Dr. Ong, when you look at the numbers, Singapore isn't faring too bad, in fact. In Singapore, women make up about 41% of the tech workforce. Now, stack that against the global average. That's 28%, according to a study by the Boston Consulting Group. So why is Singapore so keen to, raise the number of women in this tech field even more?
Yeah, well, you asked a good question, Dawn. Honestly, tech is a growing sector. So there are great opportunities as well as good prospects in pursuing a tech career. And we want both men and women to know about these opportunities and to have equal access to these opportunities. So that's one of the reasons why we want to encourage more women to join tech. However, we also recognize that it's not diversity just for diversity's sake. At the end of the day, studies have shown that companies that are more diverse are also more innovative because there's a better exchange of diverse views and ideas. They also have stronger governance and greater profitability. So I think it is good business to get into diversity and inclusion. And I must say that the young generation today also wants to have a culture that actually embraces diversity and inclusion. So companies that do that have strong corporate practices that embrace inclusion, will be better placed to attract such talents.
So accessing those opportunities, though, does it make a difference whether you are a man or a woman? Is the ecosystem, as it were, sufficient so that women can actually sort of make these moves into this sector?
Honestly, I think the situation today is a lot better than when I started in tech like 20 years ago, where I was like the only woman in a lab of 20. And it can be challenging, right, in getting my voice heard, in having that confidence in pursuing my point of view. And overcoming imposter syndrome was something that was really challenging when we are young. Now, in contrast today, 4 in 10 people in tech today are women. So this number is above the global average, but I think a lot more can still be done. So a large part of tech professionals' experience is actually through what they experience in their professional lives in the corporate environment. And one of the things that we have found when we started the Corporate Pledge movement in 2019 is that a lot more companies today are actually taking a very deliberate approach to level the playing field for women, both in attracting young women to join their companies, as well as in growing and developing women who are in their workforce. So today, more than 60 companies are in that Corporate Pledge program. And we think that that is something that is very promising, but actually, and it would be great if more companies can actually join the program and commit to actually creating a more conducive environment for women to grow and thrive.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ong, and thank you for the work that you're doing in advancing the playing field, the level playing field for women in this sector. Dr. Ong Chen Hui, the chair of SG Women in Tech.